Let's start here with the BetMGM game of the week. Texas A&M going to Columbia, Missouri. Como, if you will. 6-point spread, favoring the Aggies. 3:30 Eastern on ABC. Texas A&M, there's a certain libation company that has the phrase, stay thirsty, my friends. Texas A&M, the thing I'd say to you is stay edgy, my friends. Because there's been a lot of talk around A&M, and they're the front runner now in the SEC, and they haven't lost. And some people, your boy included, are murmuring about the death of battered Aggie syndrome. Is that a real thing? Well, if it's going to be a real thing, then you got to find a way to roll in this game where you're favored by a touchdown on the road. Because A&M fans, when I went to your board not all that long ago, I asked y'all what would take care of battered Aggie syndrome in your mind. And you said winning road games in the SEC, winning a big road game in the SEC. Now, I think you got that big road win when you went and cleared out Baton Rouge there pretty quickly and had them pay a $50 million buyout to get their head coach fired. Neither here nor there. But now you go on the road, and it's not a night game. It's not college game day. You don't have this one circled, maybe like you did in the preseason around the LSU game. Can you still handle business and still keep that edge about yourself? Because I think what's made A&M to this point in the year has been that moxie, that swagger, that, we don't care if you believe in us or not. We're going to go here and kick the door in and handle business. Do you have that same attitude when you're favored by 6 points and everyone's talking about you potentially being a top 3 team in America? Remains to be seen. Now, for Missouri, this spot can be your ally if you let it. Because everyone's talking about A&M, like I just mentioned. Nobody's really talking about Missouri like they were a couple of weeks ago. Your boy, during the midway point in the season, said, I think Missouri is a college football playoff team. Now, I can't say I still feel that way here going forward, but isn't that kind of right where you want to be if you're Missouri? Under the radar a little bit. Bo Prabula doesn't look like he's going to play in this game, so a true freshman quarterback rolling here for you with Matt Zollers. Are you able to maximize this spot that's teed up for you? And the way you maximize it is by being locked in and letting all the Eli Drinkwitz, other coaching jobs talk just wash right over. It'll be there when it's there. Can you handle this spot the way that you're supposed to handle it if you're Missouri? Okay? Excited to watch this one. Excited to break it all down. If you're A&M, I think you got to go around this Missouri defensive line, dude. I really do. This D-line is one of the best in America. This front seven is one of the best in America. Big Zion Young, Damon Wilson wreaking havoc on opposing offensive lines. They are allowing less than 100 yards rushing a game. They're one of the top teams in America when it comes to yards per carry allowed a game. The theme of the week for A&M is make you miss in space, especially Mario Craver and KC Concepcion. I want you missing everything this week. I want you missing calls. I want you missing class. I want you watching Miss America reruns. Whatever you got to do to get in that mindset of we're going to make these dudes miss in space, that is what you got to do in this spot. Because I don't think it'll be a thing where you can just turn around, hand the ball to Ruben Owens, go north and south. Now, maybe you get that a little bit later in the game, but you get that later in the game by loosening up that box a little bit, getting Missouri running sideline to sideline. If you just go in there with the we're going to go ahead and battering ram this whole thing and just beat our head against the wall till it breaks, it might eventually break, but at what cost? And what's the score in that game? And are you able to maximize your best players, being Craver and Concepcion, in my opinion, your best playmakers? That has to be something you do in this game, in my humble opinion. So ball in the perimeter, Concepcion make you miss in space, get north and south. After you catch the ball in the perimeter, and then things are going to be rolling your way if you're A&M. Now, for Missouri, you got to support your true freshman quarterback here. Matt Zollers, I like the cut of this guy's jib. We had him out here in Nashville for the Elite Series a year ago, and just has a little bit of a swag to him, a little bit of aura to him. This dude's a twitched-up athlete now. Charles Power describes him as a bouncy athlete with a live arm. The way that I'm translating that, this dude's a liability to run the football if you're A&M. So Eli Drinkwitz said in a teleconference with SEC coaches this week, they're not going to shy away from running the quarterback. Yeah, Bo Prabula's not playing this game more than likely. That sucks. He was a threat running the football. Matt Zollers, I think, is in that same vein when it comes to his ability to beat you with his legs. So you'd like to get him comfortable with running the football a little bit, but if it's me now, I'm turning around, I'm handing the ball to Ahmad Hardy. And that's kind of what Missouri does, right? They're primarily run the football kind of team. More specifically, they're a wide zone kind of team. They'll attack that edge defender, make him commit, tight end or tackle, make him decide which way he wants to go, upfield or downfield, and Ahmad Hardy cuts off of that. Now, in this spot, the matchup to watch is Ahmad Hardy versus Torian York. linebacker for A&M, who has been phenomenal all year long for the Aggies. If I'm A&M, I am doing my very best to set that edge, meaning I want Ahmad Hardy to have the read all day long. Hey, put your foot in the ground, cut up field, go north and south. Why? Because that means Torian York gets to meet you in the hole. So that battle, when that kind of thing happens, where Ahmad Hardy has to go north and south, and it's him and Torian York in space, that's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be a Sunday kind of matchup for us here, but we get it on Saturdays, which is awesome. How that whole matchup unfolds throughout the course of 4 quarters will do a lot for determining what Missouri's doing on 2nd and 3rd down. If Ahmad Hardy's shaking and baking and falling forward, and we're living in 2nd and 6, 3rd and 3, guess what? You ask a lot less of your true freshman quarterback, Matt Zollers, in this game against that A&M front 7. I don't like the idea of Matt Zollers dropping back. It's 3rd and 11. Cassius Howell off the edge for A&M. Like, that's a bad, bad way to live if you're Missouri. Another thing you can do to support your true freshman quarterback, Kirby Moore, style up some easy stuff for him. I know that's easier said than done. It's much easier to say that sitting at the desk and actually, putting that into practice against that A&M defense who got 7 sacks against LSU and just made their life a living nightmare in Baton Rouge. But I want the ball out of his hands quick. I want us on the perimeter. I want us throwing the tunnel screens. I want us quick game. I don't want us doing a whole lot of sit back, 1 Mississippi, 2. You don't have 3 Mississippis against this A&M defense. So ball out quick, give him the easy stuff, get his confidence going, get him in rhythm. If you can do that now, you give yourself, again, position to be in 3rd and manageable, 2nd and manageable, and that has to be the way that you live in this football game. If the game is on Matt Zollers, you did something wrong, Missouri. You weren't able to get the stuff going on 1st and 2nd that you had to get going, like I just said, intermediate passing game, running game, all those things. Now, if you're Missouri, go win some matchups here. Brett Norfleet is a tight end for Missouri that I think has been quietly one of their unsung heroes of this offense. Shoulder injury a couple weeks ago. Day-to-day is the latest report on him. I'm curious to see what the injury report says on him on Wednesday for the SEC folks, but he's a big 6'7" body. And I think if you can have a safety blanket like that on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4, and have him coming across the field or just get him isolated, I like that a lot for my true freshman quarterback to have that big target on 3rd and the stick. So just something to keep an eye on, something to keep a pulse on. Where is he at over the course of this week, and what's his availability for this game? Because if he can't go, this whole thing is a moot point in itself. But at the time of us recording this, don't have that intel, so keep a pulse on that. It's all about possessing the football if you're Missouri. That's who they are. That's what they've been this entire year. And especially in this game with Marcel Reed on the other side of this thing, I don't want him having extra bullets. Okay, I want him watching this game. I don't want him playing. I want him watching this game. So how you do that now is extending drives. Everything we just said a second ago. Can you take time off the clock? Can you look up at the end of this thing and say, man, A&M only had like 7 possessions over the course of this thing. Man, Missouri, they had the ball for 38 minutes. If it's a definitive time of possession victory for Missouri on the box score, I think it'll be a close game, maybe a Missouri victory on the scoreboard. So something to unpack there. Now for A&M, is there something you can manufacture on the ground? Because I just told you, I think it's probably a thing where you got to put the ball in the perimeter, get it to Concepcion and Craver, and make it happen in the space. Remember that whole conversation? But are you able to get something going with Marcel Reed in the option game? Are you able to get something going in the jet sweep game? Again, I don't think you're just going straight up and going north and south with these boys when it comes to the trenches and all that for A&M. But I do think what Colin Klein's done to this point in the year with the eye candy pre-snap, with messing with the eyes of different second and third level of defenses and having them out of position, if you can manufacture something in the ground game, could be quarterback run game, it might be night-night for Missouri, because the advantage I love for A&M is their ability to push the football downfield against this Missouri secondary. All right, like if I'm A&M, that is the matchup I love. So if you can get something going early and force them to play that box a little bit more aggressively, there's going to be some bombs downfield for Marcel Reed to hit on. And to this point in the year, that has been what's really allowed A&M to blow some of these games open over the course of the season. So at the end of the day here, there's a lot to like with Missouri. I told you the spot I think is really interesting. I picked Missouri to beat Alabama a couple of weeks ago because of all the things I just told you that I think Missouri has to do in this game. Time of possession, run the football. Ahmad Hardy is, I think, the massive hinge point in this spot. If he's able to get going on the ground and support their true freshman quarterback, this thing gets very interesting. But here's the deal. I am big on picking a team to win that I see the most ways for them to win the game. Like for A&M, if Marcel Reed goes off, probably win the football game. But if he doesn't have a great day at the office, I think you could talk me into the run game finding a way to get rolling. I think the defense could make some plays. I think you could win a rock fight in this spot with the way that the front seven's played for A&M. So I think there's more ways for A&M to win. The spot, I keep saying this, it makes me nervous. I will take A&M to win. I will take Missouri to cover. I think it is a little bit uncomfortably close for the folks in maroon that make the travel out to Columbia for this one. But I'll take the Aggies to win 27-23, to stay unbeaten, keep their college football playoff hopes even more intact than they were before, and A&M keeps that show on the road in the BetMGM game of the week and takes that show, I guess, off the road this week with a win against Missouri.